Hey Star Trek fans, welcome back to Kertrats Productions and This Week in Trek. We have news from the Star Trek universe this week about Universal Studios, including Star Trek, in their new FanFest nights, Star Trek Prodigy news, and some new information about the long-awaited Con audio drama podcast from Nicholas Meyer. So without further ado, let's get into this week's news.
You're a public figure, Dad. You're the captain of the most important space station in the entire Federation. You're news.
First up this week is some exciting news from Universal Studios Hollywood. The famous Hollywood theme park is introducing an event called Universal Fan Fest Nights, beginning in the spring of 2025 at Universal Studios Hollywood. The first such event is going to include 3 different themed experiences from Star Trek, Dungeons & Dragons, and Back to the Future, with even more to be announced at a later date. The press release from Universal had this to say about the Star Trek experience. This experience is inspired by the Star Trek universe, one of television's most enduring franchises, which is known for its groundbreaking storytelling that addresses social, political, and cultural issues, as well as entertaining millions of fans. Star Trek's optimistic view of the future and reflection on what it means to be human has inspired generations of dreamers and doers. An accompanying post on the official Universal blog had some more to say. Star Trek fans, your moment has arrived. The iconic science fiction franchise and pop cultural tentpole will be featured at the inaugural Universal Fan Fest nights. The Star Trek universe has taken the form of television shows, movies, video games, comic books, and more, and now it'll take the form of something very exciting at Universal Studios Hollywood. Are you ready to boldly go where no one has gone before? A little vague on the details there, but I'm definitely intrigued. The Universal Fan Fest nights are a separately ticketed, limited-time after-hours experience. The event promises to be an immersive in-world experience combined with live entertainment and cosplay. Even the food will apparently be themed to the particular experience, along with, of course, merchandise that includes collectibles, drinkware, apparel, and more. I'll have a link in the video description to the Universal Fan Fest Nights website where you can sign up to get email updates with more information as they release it. I'm definitely very curious to see what these events entail, and who knows, maybe a trip to Universal Studios Hollywood is in order for the near future. With last month's release of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 on Netflix in the US and other markets, the push has once again resumed to secure a future for the animated Star Trek television series. Star Trek Prodigy superfan Michelle Stokes has once again organized a unique way of getting the message across to Netflix. We want a Season 3 of Star Trek Prodigy. Back in 2023, she organized the flight carrying the banner with the hashtag #SaveStarTrekProdigy over various streamer offices in Los Angeles, and now a new flight has taken place, this time imploring Netflix with the message, "Renew Star Trek Prodigy, go fast," echoing the catchphrase of the character Dal in the series. The money for the flight was raised via a crowdfunding campaign, with over $2,100 donated from small contributions by dozens of Prodigy fans. The excess money not needed to fund the flight has reportedly been donated to UNICEF. The efforts have been noticed and recognized by some of the team behind the show. Co-executive producer Aaron Waltke retweeted a photo from the flight, and co-creators Kevin and Dan Hageman also shouted out the stunt. Kate Mulgrew, who plays both Admiral Janeway and Hologram Janeway in Prodigy, also took to social media to thank Michelle and the rest of the fans who made this possible. No word yet from Netflix on the possibility of a 3rd season, but we are all perched on the edge of our seats waiting and hoping that Prodigy gets the nod for more episodes beyond the end of Season 2. Stay tuned and keep watching Prodigy to drive those numbers up as much as possible. Speaking of Star Trek Prodigy, details have now been released for the Blu-ray and DVD release of the show's 2nd season. The 3-disc Blu-ray set will include all 20 episodes of Season 2, along with 2 featurettes, including interviews with the cast and crew. The 2 featurettes are Producing Prodigy, The Legacy. The producers of the show, along with Will Wheaton, basically give a primer on Prodigy, talking about the legacy Star Trek within the show, and how Prodigy fits into the Star Trek canon. The second featurette is The Odyssey of Prodigy, in which the producers talk about the journey that the characters have taken over the course of the season, along with Will Wheaton once again, talking about bringing the character of Wesley Crusher back into Star Trek. The The Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 set is available for pre-order now on Amazon. I'll have links for you in the video description. The release date for both the Blu-ray and DVD editions is November 12th. In a recent interview with TrekMovie.com, Nicholas Meyer gave a small update on the Star Trek project he's currently working on, the audio drama podcast Star Trek Con, Ceti Alpha V. When asked about the current status of the project, Meyer said that he believes recording will begin within the next year. He also indicated that they are currently doing casting for the podcast project. Ceti Alpha V began life as a proposed television miniseries before being reimagined as an audio drama podcast. According to Meyer, 3 one-hour television scripts had been written, and these form the basis of the podcast. The expected length for the series is 9 or 10 episodes. I'll have a link to the story over on TrekMovie.com, where they share a few more details about the project from Nick Meyer. I'm really looking forward to this one. Meyer really is one of the biggest names in Star Trek writing history. His involvement in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, truly helped make Star Trek what it is today. We here at Kertrats Productions will keep our ears to the ground for more information about this latest project as it becomes available.
I never really cared for science fiction. I guess I just didn't get it.
We have a few new Star Trek releases this week, and the first one is a big one. On Tuesday, August 27th, the 5th and final season of Star Trek Discovery hits Blu-ray and DVD. The set contains all 10 episodes from the final season, as well as exclusive featurettes and audio commentaries. Also out Tuesday is a box set containing all 5 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. This set, of course, includes a featurette that is exclusive to the set and not to be found on the individual season sets. I'll have links to purchase both of these in Blu-ray and DVD form in the video description. On Wednesday, August 28th, the voyages of the USS Defiant under the command of Captain Worf continue in comic form, as Star Trek Defiant number 18 is released. This issue is part 2 of The Stars of Home. Here's the synopsis from IDW. With Spock rotting in a Romulan cell aboard Seela's ship, the rest of the Defiant crew readies the farmers of Antara for an invasion by General Revo and his relentless Romulan army. This leaves Worf, B'Elanna, and Ro with 2 crewmates down, and despite how hopeful the planet's population is, what are 3 failed Starfleet officers and lowly resistance fighters to a heavily armed and technologically advanced Romulan strike team? Defiant number 18 is written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Angel Unzueta. And finally, also out on Wednesday, is issue number 12 of the Star Trek Explorer magazine. This issue features interviews with Lower Decks creator Mike McMahon and T'Lyn voice actor Gabrielle Ruiz. Also interviewed is Strange New World cinematographer Benji Bakshi. This issue's features include a look at the best moments from Star Trek Discovery and short fiction from Keith R.A. DeCandido and artist Mike Collins, and many more. You can pick up your copy of Star Trek Explorer number 12 on newsstands on Wednesday, August 28th. And that's another Week in Trek in the bag. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and thanks, as always, to the Patreon supporters. Join us here again next week for another Week in Trek, and be sure to visit the channel this coming Saturday for the next edition of The Unready Room, the live show where Brandy Jackala and I are currently watching Season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy. Join the discussion this week about episodes 15 and 16, Ascension Parts 1 and 2. See you there, and, as always, live long and prosper.